Wednesday edition of Box Seat. I'm Adam McGrath, and again joined by Ian Lenton. And Ian, 8 races to take a look at, and we're just starting to heat up right into our best part of the carnival.
Really not too long now. It's only a handful of days really before we're into the really big races that we wait all year for. So we have a pretty good undercard here on the Wednesday. Hopefully find a few winners.
And while we start heating up with the races, the weather's also heating up as well. We're going to expect, I think it was about 35, 36 degrees come Saturday, but pretty warm conditions as well for Wednesday. You can have a look at the conditions on your screen at the moment. The rail's going to be out 16 metres as well with a cutaway in the straight. It'll be a good 3, so perfect conditions for racing. And with that rail out, it does mean every horse will have their opportunity.
Yeah, we've seen when the rail's out where it is. We've had just westerly winds after westerly winds, which will really help the back markers, and it creates fantastic racing. So certainly shaping up that way.
Well, let's take a look at race number 1. It is over 1,500 metres. Some talented bunch going around here. We've seen some of these go head to head, and the horse that finished best out of them was Incoming Tide. It finished second behind George and Ernie, which of course raced at Ascot on Saturday, and we're going to take a look at that replay now.
Home straight is Indigo Aura. At the top of the straight, Annie's Luck raced up to Barzino. On the outside is Incoming Tide. George and Ernie also staking its claim. At the 200, George and Ernie and Incoming Tide are together. Annie's Luck sticks on, but it's George and Ernie. This is the one they've had the money on, and he's going to certainly deliver. George and Ernie wins it by a length.
Yeah, strong performance once again by Incoming Tide. Comes into this with a career record weight like most of them do in this. William Pike on board makes a huge difference, and I think back in the field from that wide barrier, I think it really gets this opportunity here, Adam.
Cornellas have been the trend over the last couple of days. Saw Dan Morton do it on Saturday, as did Vaughan Sigley, and Dan's got the horse that came second and also fifth in that race, which was Indigo Aura, which put in a nice run.
Yeah, it did. Look, the blinkers went on last start. I just kind of thought that was its improvement, but if it gets off the fence here and can build up the momentum, it's a good chance of running a place here.
I thought number 2, Bazinho, would be one that would improve. It just didn't suit last start going forward. It's a horse that needs to go back and then work into the race strongly, and stepping up to the 1,500 metres from barrier 3, I thought we'd see a much improved performance.
Yeah, hopefully. I was pretty disappointed by that second up performance, but perhaps you're right on, speed wasn't the place to be.
What about Big Red Costa? This is a horse that has had plenty of potential. It's raced in some good races like the Group 3 WA size, but just can't quite get the job done this campaign again.
Yeah, I don't know where this galloper is at. I've got a sneaky feeling that it's right up there in terms of talent, but just not breaking through. Drawn well, I think it could probably run a cheeky race on speed.
Let's take a look at selections then for race number 1. I'm going to be tipping number 6, Incoming Tide, from number 8, Indigo Aura, number 2, Barzino, and number 7, Annie's Luck.
I'm with you with the 6, Incoming Tide on top from 2, Barzino, number 1, Outspoken Duke, and number 3, Big Red Costa.
Race number 2, it is Perth race number 3 for our Singapore viewers. It's over the 1,600 metres, and Ian, really looking forward to this race because we saw a horse really emerge last start with it was only a maiden victory, but it was a dominant victory at that.
Yeah, they're always difficult to assess, and of course you're referring to the 5 formula, which was just brilliant, winning by just under the 5 lengths, but was beaten 8 lengths to start before. The sectionals of that last start was strong, so I'm not too sure where this horse is at.
It's very hard to figure out where to put in this race, but let's take a look at the replay first before we do dive into it and have a look.
Up a length over Dane Law. In behind them, Big Easy Bill. Down the outside, Benny Bruiser. Count the Cherries. Formula from last is coming with a sweeping run though. It's Formula dashing up with 200 left to go. Sprinting 2 in front of Dane Law and Brandy Blitz, followed by Benny Bruiser. But Formula, turning it on, has come from last and made a sustained run, drawing clear from them. Formula is going to bolt in by 5 lengths to Dane Law.
Yeah, good performance, showed no gate speed and really picked them up quite comfortably. Now that was a very average opposition, but to win by 5 lengths was impressive enough. This horse has a short neck defeat to Tarquin Shadow, which is good enough. I'm just worried about barrier 1. The rail at 16, if this horse jumps like it did last start, there's every chance of being lost before the bend.
Well, while we're trying to summarise that horse and find out where it's at, one horse that we just know what we're going to get is number 4, Rodeo Drive. Brad Parnham takes the ride now. Last start was a massive effort. To be out 3 wide, continue on down the straight, I thought it was all positives.
Yeah, and it was a huge price as well, and for people that were on, too bad. It was such a great performance going down by a length and a half. As you mentioned, did all the work, and it looks like it has the class edge in a lot of these.
Number 6, Gracie May, came out of that same race. Attacked the line strongly now. It goes up in weights because it doesn't have the claim of Jordan Turner here, but the blinkers go on as well. Can that sort of counteract each other?
I hope so. She's never really brought her form to town. 9 starts, just the 1 placing, but last start was good enough.
And what about number 2, Lashilla? Now, this is a horse that was disappointing last start, but we know at its best that he can cross it. Barrier 15 is just not a concern with Lashilla. We'll cross with these. William Pike takes a ride, Lucy Warwick takes a ride from William Pike. but the 59 kilos, it'll be hard to assess.
There's some ugly numbers there with that barrier and the weight. And look, it's not easy to cross over 1,600 metres from a wide barrier, so I think it can do it, but it might take the edge off before it gets there.
Let's take a look at selections then. I'm going to be tipping number 5 Formula from number 4 Rodeo Drive, number 6 Gracie May, and number 2 Lashilla.
Yeah, same 4 as you, but different order. 4 Rodeo Drive on top from number 5 Formula, the 2 Lashilla, and number 6 Gracie May.
Race number 3 at Ascot, it's Perth. Race number 5 for our Singapore viewers. It's over the 1,100 metres, and I'm really excited about this race, Ian. There's some genuine speed, and I think there's some genuine Saturday horses in this race as well.
Yeah, there's about 6 of them that are very hard to split. A lot of different form lines to assess and some trial form as well, Adam.
Well, that's the form that we're going to take a look at for our replay. It is a trial of Lucky Legacy. Showed good form as a 2-year-old. I thought the trial was really good. You'll see it attacking line late. Let's have a look at it now.
Now we have 30 back there with also Lucky Legacy. End of the straight inside the last 350 and out in front Jacinta Jinx trying to give them the slip. Leads the way. Big Raps moved up stylishly on the outside though for Paul Harvey. And right down the outside and starting to wind up is Templars Cross and Lucky Legacy. Jacinta Jinx in front inside the last 100. They're coming from everywhere. Big Raps right off the track. Lucky Legacy, but Jacinta Jinx held on. Jacinta Jinx beat second.
Yeah, monstered through the line in that trial. Really impressive. And Lucky Legacy, as you mentioned, the 2-year-old form, they put in some outstanding performances. Drawn awkwardly, but I really rate this galloper. I think it'll be suited in this race.
It's got some X factor, doesn't it? From the draw, just go back and one last go at them later. I think it'll certainly be one to watch in this race. Another that we have to watch is number 2 Jintang. Now, this was your tip for the Belgravia. It came back with an elevated heart rate, so it's excuses. And you go from the run before that. A good victory. I guess the only concern is going up to the 58.5.
Yeah, that is a test. And look, looking at the form from that first race, it really didn't hold up at all. Nothing has really come from it, which confused me because it was strong sectional times, but obviously dismissed the Belgravia run. There's a bit of caution there, though, isn't there? Hard to have a lot of faith.
What about number 9, Kentucky Lass? And there has to be a little bit of caution around this filly because she showed so much, but she's still a maiden after 7 starts. But when you go through the form lines, Who Dat Singer was impressive again on Saturday. We've seen Total Eclipse run some good races as well. I think she's there and about. She just has to get this win.
Yeah, she has to be hard to beat. It's all about where she lands from that barrier, though. The form through Who Dat Singer now looks very good. We thought that was a poor run on paper, but the way Who Dat Singer went on Saturday, I think it's fairly safe to assume that it just bumped into a sharp one.
Brad Parnham to ride as well. Great to see him back in
absolutely.
WA. So looking forward to seeing how he goes. And we'll probably see Chris Parner come back for the carnival as well. So they'll all be floating through the Parnham family with plenty of rides. There's no doubt about that. Let's take a look at selections for race number 3. I'm going to be tipping number 9 Kentucky Lass from number 2 Jintang, number 7 Lucky Legacy, and number 1 Invincible Man.
I'm 7 Lucky Legacy on top from number 6 Sinesta, number 2 Jintang, and the 9 Kentucky Lass.
Race number 4, it's Australia. Race number 7 for our Singapore viewers. It's over the 1,100 metres, and in an interesting race, we know, especially this time of the year, barriers come down to so much in these bigger races, but a lot of the favourites here that have a bit of speed are drawn out very wide.
Yes, well-spoken man, and of course the 7 Nardini now with Simon Miller, but the favourite is going to be in Cerise and White, as we've come to expect. Drawn well with William Pike on board, it's Petite Charm.
It was a really good run last start, wasn't it? Saturday Company behind Mystic Maid, attacked the line, get some further distance here as well. We'll take a look at that replay now.
Now to Delicate Miss with Push and Shapes down on the inside, called upon and making a run at 3 votes. Then came Mystic Maid, Petite Charm. It's 3 votes in front, not for long. Push and Shapes driving up near the rail. Delicate Miss sticks on. Mystic Maid claiming them both though. It's Mystic Maid on the outside, racing up, goes to Delicate Miss and is too good. Mystic Maid.
Really strong performance by Petite Charm, but I kind of get the impression it fell into the Ackett Asset basket because this almost ran a better time than the stablemate Silverstream on the same day, and it was chasing. And I'm not sure what to do with it because the 2 wet track runs have been its best. The 2 runs in the middle have just been pretty average.
We're certainly going to learn a little bit more about this horse, I feel, from this start because unlike the others, it's drawn nicely in barrier 4 and it's got the blinkers on as well. One of those horses that always seems to be liked in the betting as well-spoken, man. It had a virus last start, so it had the excuses. It's trialled since, it won that trial, but it's drawn out in 11, gets a 2-kilo claim to Jordan Turner.
Yeah, not too sure what the tactics are. There's a lot of speed in this, and they have a decision to make early, but its form lines are certainly good enough to win this.
Another horse that I'm really excited about seeing come back is number 7, Nardini. Now trained by Simon Miller, we know that he can get these horses to run quick speeds, but out wide again, the 2-kilo claim to Aaron Mitchell, they're going to have to find some luck early.
Yeah, I'd love to know why this horse changed stable all the way through because it was with Adam Durant, but we know Simon Miller, he's one of the best at getting them to sprint point to point. Nardini looks like that type of galloper, so this could be a really good, important stable change.
Well, let's take a look at selections for race number 4. I'm going to be tipping number 12, Petite Charm, from number 6, Star Lightning, number 2, Well Spoken Man, and number 8, Profound Effect.
I'm the 12, Petite Charm, from number 2, Well Spoken Man, the 7, Nardini, and number 6, Star Lightning.